Welcome to the AI Queens podcast, the show where women entrepreneurs learn to ditch the overwhelm, embrace AI, and build businesses fit for royalty. I'm Erika Stanley, your host and tech expert, here to deliver tools, tips, and actionable strategies to help you scale smarter. Let's get to it. Hey, Queens, and welcome to the AI Queens podcast. So, as I just got back from AI Business World a few weeks ago, I also just taught a 4-hour AI workshop today, and I've been going to networking events. The conversations I'm having with people right now, people who are actually out there building with AI every single day, there is this thing that keeps coming up over and over again. These are side conversations in between sessions at AI Business World or after a networking event, and people keep asking me, they're loving working with Claude. Projects, Claude Code, Claude Cowork, but they keep hitting token limits. And it's happening to literally everyone I talk to who has switched from ChatGPT to Claude. Like, it's giving red flags. And when it happens mid-project, like, people are stoked to switch to Claude. The capabilities are just awesome. But when you hit that token limit mid-project, mid-conversation, it can be so frustrating, especially when you don't know why it's happening or how to fix it. You just know that it told you can't come back until tomorrow. And I totally get it. I use Claude for so much. And when you're in the middle of working on something, a proposal, a content plan, a client deliverable, and Claude just stops, yeah, it's super frustrating. And you don't know why it's happening. You don't know how to fix it. And you just want to give up. Totally get it. But that would be such a shame because Claude is genuinely one of the most powerful AI tools available right now. And I mean, this is like end of spring, beginning of summer 2026. So timestamp this, but it is one of the most powerful AI tools out there. And that's what I'm using most of the time. And I absolutely love it. So today, I want to help fix that for you. I want to give you 12 different ways to stop burning through your Claude usage so quickly so that you can actually stay in Claude and get your work done without bouncing back and forth like a pinball between it and other LLMs. Before we get into the list, I want to take a second to explain what we're even talking about when I say tokens, because this word gets thrown around a lot and it can feel a little abstract. This is true for every LLM, whether you're using Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Pilot, like all of them calculate usage in tokens. So I want you to think about tokens as fuel in a gas tank. Every word you type, every file you upload, every question and response that AI gives you, it's all burning through that fuel. And the part that you don't really think about until you hit that wall is that AI is not just reading the latest message to answer your question or prompt. Every single time you send it something, it's rereading the entire conversation all the way back up to the top. So the longer your chat gets, the more fuel it's burning just to catch up, just to answer you. And that's why you're hitting your limits faster than you expect, especially in really long, messy, multi-topic conversations. So now that you know what's happening under the hood, let's talk about how to stop it. I want to break this episode up into 2 sections. First, I'm going to give you the top 3. These are the main ones. These are the ones that are going to make the biggest difference the fastest in your token usage. And then the rest, 9 more habits to stack on top of that, those will keep you running. So there's 12 total. And gosh, if you can just do a few of these, it's going to make a huge difference. Starting with number 1, the very best way to conserve tokens is to edit your original message. Don't pile corrections on top. Let me explain what this means. It's the single highest leverage habit that you can build in Claude, and honestly in every LLM. But this is such a good habit to start making a big difference. Here's what most people do, including me. You're chatting back and forth. Claude gets something wrong. And so you type a follow up that's like, "Ooh, actually, can you make that shorter?" Or, "Oh, that's not right. Let's try again. Can you redo the second paragraph?" Okay. Every single one of those corrections, it's keeping the bad output loaded. And then every time you ask another question, it's rereading that wrong answer every single time you send something new. So you are burning tokens on output that wasn't right, output that you didn't even want. So the fix for this is super simple. You can go back to your original message and edit it directly. So when you hover over that message, you'll see a little pencil icon. You can click on that and then fix whatever was unclear or missing in your original prompt, and then regenerate it. That old exchange disappears entirely. You can still get back to it if you need to, but the entire conversation from then on is clean. This one habit can dramatically extend how far your usage goes. So I want you to get super comfortable with the edit button from now on. It is one of the most underrated features in Claude. Number 2, your conversations are compounding against you. All right. This one is a little middle school math when you first hear it, but once you think of it like this, once you get it, you can't unsee it. So, message 1. Message 1 costs 1x, right? It's just one time. Message 2, remember we're talking about the fuel in the car? So message 2, it's got to go all the way up and back. So now that's 2x. Message 3, that's 3x. It's got to go all the way back up through those last 3 messages and then come back down to answer it. So by the time you're 10 messages deep, Claude is rereading everything, every single message in that thread before it even thinks about your new question. This is why your usage disappears so fast. These long conversations are genuinely just they're more expensive, and that's by design. It's going back and it's rereading. So the fix to this is to start fresh chats more often than you're used to, more often than feels natural. I know it might feel like you're losing something when you open a new chat, but you're not. You're protecting your usage. I want you to keep your conversations tightly scoped. One goal, one chat, in and out. And for those of you who are concerned about the environmental impact of AI, and all of us should be, this is a good way to still use AI, but to tamp down that usage just a little bit, because you're using less processing power, less computing power if you keep your conversations short and concise with one goal and one response. I want to talk about this more in tip 4 when we get a little further down, but I want you to sit with this one for just a second, because it's a completely different way of using AI compared to how we all have been using AI since ChatGPT dropped in November of 2022. We have just been chatting back and forth, right? We ask a question, it responds, we chat back, and we're just typing and yapping away. Like we've got all the time and all the tokens in the world. But that yapping has a cost. It has an environmental cost, and just logistically, it's got a token cost. So if you can keep your conversations really concise, really tight, that's going to help you and help the world as well. All right, moving on to number 3, PDFs. PDFs are a token bomb. It's so much better for your token usage if you convert everything first. This one is going to save you a lot of frustration and possibly a lot of money if you decide that you don't have to upgrade to the $100 a month plan like I have. When you upload a PDF to Claude or to any LLM, here is what's actually happening behind the scenes. Claude converts every single page of that PDF into an image. Then it's reading the text using OCR technology from that image, and then it's using its internal AI to make sense of that text. So you're actually paying multiple times for every single page. Once for the image conversion, once for the text extraction, and then again for how that text is applied to the question you're asking. So that's just compounding over time. A single PDF page could cost anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 tokens. If you think of a token like a word, then that's 1,500 to 3,000 words. So a 50-page PDF can burn through 150,000 tokens before you've even asked a single question. Like, hey, I need you to analyze this. So what do you do instead? Because you've probably been uploading PDFs this entire time. And what you can do instead is you can convert it to plain text and then upload that. Plain text is a fraction of the cost. Okay, but how do you convert PDFs to plain text? Well, I'm going to give you an example of what this looks like in my own workflow and how I use Adobe Acrobat and its built-in AI assistant to help out. Here's how it works. Let's say you've got a 20-page PDF that you are using as a reference to pull out insights and statistics, and you're using it to create brand skills for your business, right? So, like all of the brand to bot blueprints that I use for my clients, I turn those into PDFs before I send those to my client. Now, if you're using Claude to read that PDF, it's converting each individual page into an image, then reading the text, then using its internal AI to make sense of that text, then spitting it back out to you. For a 20-page PDF, that's using a ton of tokens. So what you can do instead, if you do not have access to the original text file, either the Google Doc, the Word doc, wherever it came from, if you don't have access to that and all you have is the PDF, you can go into Adobe Acrobat, which is, it's the natural place where all of us interact with PDFs anyway. And they have a new feature called AI Assistant that can help you pull insights from the PDF directly. So, for example, for my brand to bot blueprint, I could ask the AI assistant, hey, I need you to create an outline of the key points and insights in this document. I'll be using this as a context file, so give me the outline in a simple text-only format. The AI assistant is going to then read through that PDF and spit out exactly what you need in the sidebar. You can copy and paste that directly into Claude and continue your conversation without the original PDF. Since Adobe Acrobat did all the heavy lifting, because obviously it's native to PDFs, that's where PDFs live in Acrobat, you're getting really accurate insights with 0 tokens used by Claude to create that text. Then, every time you reference it from that point on, it's pulling the text-only version rather than converting the PDF. The same holds true for files that you are uploading into your Claude projects. So if you have AI summarize them into text-only versions, rather than uploading a bunch of image-heavy PDF files, you are saving yourself a ton of AI usage within Claude itself. And a super easy way to make that conversion is within Adobe Acrobat itself. Now, full disclosure, I am an Adobe Acrobat ambassador, so I do get access to a ton of cool tools from them. But 2 things that you should know. First, I only recommend tools that I actually use. And Adobe is super on top of it with their AI. You've heard me mention this in previous episodes, so I love the way that they handle training their model and moving forward with their AI. Second, I know this feels like I am tool hopping to beat the system. And yeah, I totally am. I am tool hopping to beat the system, to hack the system. PDFs are Adobe Acrobat's territory. We all know this. So I'm using their native tool to make the most out of what I have access to and integrating it seamlessly into my workflow. I do it because it works. So if you're interested, if you want to check out the new AI assistant in Acrobat, I will link to it in the show notes. It's seriously so easy to use. Check it out. Those are your top 3. If you do nothing else from this episode, do those 3 things. It will change how Claude feels to use. Now, let's run through the rest. These are 9 more habits that are going to keep you from hitting that token wall. All right, number 4, one topic, one chat, always. I mentioned this before for number 2, but a little twist on this. LinkedIn post, client proposal, recipe research. That's 3 separate chats, not one. Every time you shift topics inside the same conversation, you are dragging all of that old context along for the ride. So, new topic, start a new chat, full stop. Number 5, keep your files short and curated. I want you to only upload what Claude needs for a specific task. And if you can, trim your files to like 2,000 words or less. This is actually a great use for Adobe Acrobat as well, because they can summarize and help you trim before you upload. This is actually something that Anthropic calls out. They call it context rot. The bigger the context window gets, the more accuracy degrades. Think of it like a bunch of binders of information. And every time you ask a question, Claude has to look through every single page in every single one of those binders. So more information in this case is not necessarily better. Curated is better. Number 6, batch your tasks into one prompt. Let's say you're chatting back and forth and you get to the point where you're like, okay, I want you to summarize this or pull out the key points or suggest a headline. Rather than asking it 3 separate requests in 3 separate chats, you can put all 3 of those into one question and it's going to spit out those responses. Because remember, it's going to, like a car, like your fuel, it's going to go all the way back up to the beginning of that context window and come all the way back down. So if you ask all 3 of those requests in one shot, it's only got to do that once. So you can say, hey, I need you to summarize this, pull the key points, and suggest an SEO-friendly headline. And it will do all 3 of them at the same time. And honestly, the output on these is sometimes better because Claude can see how these tasks relate to each other and spit out that response all at once. Okay, number 7, be surgical about your fixes. When something is wrong, don't have it re-explain everything from scratch. Stop having it rewrite the whole thing. If it got most of what you wanted correct, you can say like, oh, only redo section 3, keep everything else. So another hack that's along these same lines, you can tell it, no commentary, just the output. So it will stop saying, oh, that's such a good idea. Here's my rewrite for section 3. Like, you don't need the commentary. That's just extra words that it's adding and it's not helping you. You don't need your AI to tell you that your ideas are brilliant. You just need it to give you the response. You're cutting out the cute conversational snippets, but the specificity saves tokens. And if you keep hitting that wall, this is another way to do that. So number 8, plan in the chat and then build. So if you are using Claude to help you create something, you can have it plan the structure first. So, for example, I want XYZ task to achieve ABC goal. Ask me questions before you start. I have told you guys this before. Having the LLM ask you questions helps it to understand. It helps you to know what it needs to be able to complete that task. So in this case, you are front loading that clarity into the chat. Then as it goes, you can actually have it save or summarize that conversation into a markdown file and then move that into projects before you start building something. Or you can take that result and start another conversation so you're not reloading all of those questions every single time. So you make the plan, you get the plan, save the plan, and then start a new conversation. Number 9, use projects for anything recurring. Okay, while we're on the topic of projects, this one's great. I want you to stop uploading the same PDF to 5 different chats. I am totally guilty of this. I have this gorgeous PDF that I hired a I hired a brand strategist friend of mine to do a brand strategy for AI queens. And the PDF that she put together is gorgeous and so good. It's so juicy. And I have it saved. I have it down saved as a compressed PDF. So it's not like super high. It's not super big. But I end up uploading it over and over again. Now, rather than doing that, Anthropic has confirmed that reused project content, so putting that into a project rather than just uploading it into a new conversation, it's cached and processed differently. So it's not going to hit your limit the same way that fresh uploads do. That's one of the benefits of projects. You can upload it once and then reference that information, that cached information, forever. This is a super underused feature within Claude. And it's sitting, if you're on a paid plan, it's sitting there right in your left-hand sidebar. So for recurring tasks, use projects. Number 10, turn off the things that you're not using. So web search, research, all of those third-party app connections like Gmail, Canva, Extended Thinking, all of these are token intensive. Default to everything turned off, and then only turn on the features when you actually need them for a specific task. You would be surprised how much just having these turned on adds up over time. Number 11, timing. Time it right. Okay. This one, you may be able to do it, you may not. A couple of things here. First, off-peak hours give you more room in your token usage. So evenings and weekends, they burn through tokens slower than weekdays, especially weekday mornings. Anthropic has confirmed this. The limits move faster during peak hours. So if you've got a big build session, consider timing it strategically. Okay. Second, if you're using Claude Cowork and you have things scheduled, for example, my Claude Command Center, I had it scheduled for 8 a.m. every morning. Well, 8 a.m. Eastern Time is peak hours. I'm not checking in right at 8 a.m. I don't need it right at 8 a.m. And nothing has changed for me between the night before and the day of. So instead, I now have it run at 5 a.m. So it's still, just as if it was running at 8 a.m., it's still sitting for me, ready to go when I sit down at my computer. But I have saved that extra token usage by running those prompts, running that scheduled agent at 5 a.m. rather than 8 a.m. So the timing on this can help save you tokens. All right, number 12. This is the last one. And it's super counterintuitive. It's going to take a little bit of a change to your habits, a change to your muscle memory. But I want you to get in the habit of summarizing before the wheels fall off. Every 15 to 20 messages, you can ask Claude to summarize everything important. You can copy that summary, open a fresh session, and paste that in as your first message. You are going to keep all the context without compounding cost. So, when you've been chatting for a while and you have to scroll to get back to the top of the conversation, that's your indicator that you've been chatting for too long. Take 30 seconds, summarize, and start a new conversation. It's going to save you from hitting that token wall mid-project. All right, queens, that's your 12. Let me give you a quick version one more time so you can just jot this down. 1, edit your original message. Don't pile on the corrections. Number 2, your conversation compounds, so start fresh more often. 3, convert your PDFs before uploading. Use Adobe Acrobat's AI Assistant or use a different LLM to convert those PDFs into plain text to save yourself tokens. Number 4, one topic, one chat. Don't go down a rabbit hole of completely unrelated information. 5, keep your files short and curated. 6, batch your tasks into one prompt. 7, be surgical about your fixes. Don't make it rewrite the whole thing from start to finish if it's only got a problem in paragraph 2. 8, plan in chat. Then move that plan into projects or move that plan into a new conversation. 9, anything recurring, use projects. The files that you're putting in there are cached differently, and that can help save you tokens. 10, turn off those extra connectors and extra features that you are not using. 11, time your sessions so you're using off-peak hours. And 12, summarize. Every 15 to 20 chats, have it summarize for you, start a new conversation before you hit the wall. These aren't hacks per se, they're just smarter habits. And even though Claude seems to be the biggest problem that people are running into right now, these are smarter habits for honestly any LLM you're working with. Once they click and become part of your routine, it's going to stop feeling like it's fighting you to get your work done and more like the strategic partner that it's actually meant to be. If you want to go even deeper with Claude, I want to tell you about something that I'm building for you. Coming up, I am hosting the AI Queens Build-a-thon. It's a free live virtual event where I'm teaching women to build with AI. So I had originally planned to do this in May, but gosh, I am swamped. And to be quite honest, I am feeling a little underwater. So we're going to move it to June. And I will send you all, I've got the link. I'm going to update my landing page. Long story short, for this particular build-a-thon, I'm going to walk you through how to build your Claude command center from scratch. Now, if you listen to my episode, Claude Runs My Day, you already know what I'm talking about. This is where we are actually going to build it together. You can sign up at aiqueens.com/build, and I'm also going to drop the link in the show notes. Spots are free, but limited, so make sure you sign up. Until next time, keep building, keep chatting, and keep reigning with AI. Thanks for listening to the AI Queens podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow queen who needs to hear this. Want more tools and tips? Join the AI Queens Society over at aiqueens.com and start ruling your business with confidence today. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep reigning with AI.